Hello, welcome to today's training. As you can see from the presentation, the topic is how to become unrecognizable in 2026. The full guide. Let's go through the overview, purpose, goals and identity, steps into action, health, exercise, consistency, discipline and regularity, review and action steps. Purpose, goals and identity. Your life is shaped by identity. Most people believe their life is shaped by their decisions. In reality, it is shaped by their identity. Identity is not a label. It is not a personality type. It is not a story you consciously repeat. Identity is the stable internal pattern your subconscious uses to decide what feels normal, what feels safe, what feels possible, and what feels unrealistic. Your nervous system organizes your behavior around this pattern automatically. You do not wake up each day and consciously choose who you are. You express who you already believe yourself to be, and your external reality follows that. How identity shapes your reality. Your identity is constantly shaping what opportunities you notice, what risks you avoid, how much effort feels reasonable, how you interpret success and failure, what you tolerate in work, health, relationships. Two people can live in the same world and experience completely different realities because they are organized around different internal identities. If your identity is structured around survival, your life will feel like constant management. If your identity is structured around growth, your life will feel like an expansion, and so on. Reality does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you expect. And expectation is an identity function. Let's go to the first step to change. The first step is clarity. You must clearly define who you are now, how that identity currently operates, what it produces in your life. Only then change becomes possible. Without this step, people do not reinvent themselves. They decorate the same identity with new habits, and the system always collapses back to baseline. Next step is defining your future self. Once you see where you are, the next step is intentional design. This is where meditation becomes essential in my experience. Sit down, remove distraction, slow the system. From that regulated state, begin mapping your future identity in detail. Not just outcomes, the whole structure. Who you are in your future identity, in your work, relationships, your health, your daily rhythms, your emotional baseline, your standards, your decisions. Write it down on paper in detail. Create a blueprint of your future self. The subconscious needs structure before it can reorganize. In my experience, the most stable path forward always includes one element: doing something that feels meaningful even before it pays you. Your work will occupy most of your life, so it must be worth the time you give it. The most resilient identities are built around curiosity, contribution to society, genuine interest, intrinsic engagement. When your work feels alive to you, effort becomes sustainable. Money follows coherence far more reliably than it follows force. What is your purpose in life? What keeps you motivated? What do you enjoy doing? Take a paper and write it all down. Ask yourself these questions while creating your future identity. Who am I? What do I enjoy doing the most? What keeps me motivated to wake up every day? What contribution to others do I have? What can earn money for me, but also I would enjoy doing, even for free? How would I look like? What will I tolerate? What friends and partners I want? Write down a map of your future self, all details. I believe that goals should be slightly unrealistic. Many people limit their goals to what feels realistic. This is a mistake. Unrealistic goals stretch identity. Safe goals reinforce it. Life is not a test you must pass. It is a game you are allowed to play. Distant goals create momentum, meaning, engagement, narrative. They make life feel interesting. Struggle is not a problem when it is voluntary and purposeful. The problem is struggle without meaning. You have the opportunity to play the best game of all, the game of life. Play it to the fullest. There are no limitations. You can achieve anything you set your mind into. 2026 is the new astrological cycle. It marks the beginning of a new 9-year cycle. Cycles matters physiologically, even if you ignore astrology. New cycle gives permission to experiment, to take calculated risks, to release outdated identities, to try paths that did not feel possible before. This is not the year to play small. It is the year to explore with intention. You do not reinvent your life by changing everything at once. You reinvent your life by defining a new identity clearly, feeding it consistent evidence, letting reality reorganize around it. Identity changes first, behavior follows, reality adapts. Let's discuss the next chapter, steps into action. In my experience, action is key. Now you have done the first step, a clearly defined future identity. You know who you are becoming. You know how that version of you thinks, moves, decides, and lives. The next step is simple, but not easy. You must step into it daily. Identity does not shift through insight alone. It shifts through repeated, lived experience. Small actions done consistently are stronger than dramatic changes done briefly. Your subconscious responds to regularity. You don't need to overhaul your entire life at once. In fact, that usually backfires. What works is these small changes done every day, without negotiation. Each small action becomes evidence. Each evidence rewrites identity. This is how new versions of you stabilize. Let's discuss your day. In the morning, every morning, begin by regulating your system. A short meditation is a good start. The goal is not only the science, the goal is the state. At the end of the meditation, visualize your future self, not as an image, but as a felt experience. How does that version of you feel in the body? How does it breathe? What is its emotional baseline? Do not stop your meditation until you feel it. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. Gratitude journaling is optional in the morning. Grounding and sunlight is optional in the morning, but in my experience it's very beneficial and will accelerate all other techniques that you will do during the day. Take one small action your future self would naturally do. It doesn't need to be impressive, it needs to be aligned with your future self. It can be a decision, a boundary, a conversation, a task you normally avoid. It's all about identity rehearsal. Each aligned action says, "This is who am I now." Tools accelerate change when they are used correctly. The limitless next-gen field that I have on my Patreon works very well for dissolving internal limits that slow identity shifts. Check the Discord or Patreon also for the feedback from others. In the evening, my experience is very good to slow down. This is when subconscious integrates everything. Write a short journal entry. What happened today that confirms the change? What felt different? What reactions no longer matched the old identity? This trains the subconscious to notice progress. Gratitude journaling for the day is optional but very beneficial. Meditation, again, is also optional, very beneficial. Then, if they feel and they are aligned, listen to fields that match your current story. Not what you lack, but what you are becoming. During the day, resist the urge to react automatically. Old reactions belong to the old identity. Pause. Then ask, how would the version of me I am becoming respond to this? This single question interrupts old loops. Next part is very important. It's about detachment. Once this routine is in place, let go. Do not micromanage results. Do not chase confirmation. Detachment is not passivity. It is trust in the process. Your only responsibility now is to show up for the routine daily. The rest reorganizes on its own. I would also love to mention Neville Goddard's technique, sets state akin to sleep. This technique, done before sleep, when you going to sleep, you allow yourself to drift into the emotional state of your future identity. It's not visualization, not affirmation, it's emotion. You fall asleep as the person you are becoming. In my experience, this is one of the fastest ways to stabilize change. Treat the change as a marathon, and you cannot lose. Identity change is not a sprint, it is a commitment. But here is the difference. Once you commit, there is no losing. You are not asking, will this work? You are not decided. You are deciding, I will not stop. That mindset changes everything. You are no longer trying, you are walking the path. And when the path is walked daily, arrival is not the question of if, only when. Enjoy the process. This is your life reorganizing itself around who you choose to become. Next chapter, and very important part of reinventing yourself, is dedicated to health. Health is not optional. Health is critical for any meaningful change. It does not matter where you currently are, physically, mentally, or emotionally. Every identity shift, every goal, every reinvention depends on the same base layer, your body's capacity to function, adapt, and recover. You have a limited amount of time in this incarnation, and health is the resource that determines how much of that time you can actually use. Health is not a side quest. It is the platform everything else runs on. In my experience over the years, health is a balance. Health is, in practice, the sum of your daily choices. You can think of it as a balance between two forces: how much load the body receives, and how efficiently the body can process and eliminate that load. When incoming stress exceeds outgoing capacity, the system degrades. Not suddenly, all happens gradually. Most people think toxins come only from that. This is a very narrow view. The body processes far more than calories. It processes food quality, quantity, chronic stress, lack of movement, chemical exposure from cosmetics and cleaning products, polluted air, overstimulation from television, social media, etc., unresolved emotional charge, negative mental environments. All of this counts. The nervous system does not separate physical and emotional input. Stress is stress. Load is load. When the load becomes too high, the body starts communicating. The first signals are subtle: fatigue, worse skin, poor sleep, gaining fat, body odor, bad breath, digestive problems. There are not random issues. There are early warning signs. If they are ignored long enough, the body escalates. Colds, infections, inflammation, digestive disorders, hormonal disruptions. Symptoms are not the enemy. They are the body forcing attention. Your body is intelligent and self-correcting. Your body is not fragile. It is adaptive. It detoxifies constantly through urine, stool, sweat, breath, and the lymphatic system. The body is designed to clear itself. Problems arise only when input remains high and output is chronically restricted. When elimination pathways are overwhelmed, the system slows down. When you reduce unnecessary load and create space for elimination, the body naturally moves toward balance. Better energy, clearer skin, improved digestions, stronger immunity, more stable mood, better sleep. In my experience, health improves when the body is allowed to do what it already knows how to do. Your health is a mirror of identity. How you eat reflects how much you respect yourself. How you manage stress reflects how safe your nervous system feels. How you move reflects how connected you are to your body. Identity is embodied daily. When you shift identity, health follows. And while health improves, identity stabilizes faster. This is leverage. Your current health did not appear overnight, and it will not disappear overnight. It is a reflection of habits, environment, stress exposure, movement, sleep, emotional patterns, your daily decisions. The good news is, all these are adjustable through consistency. Health is a daily practice, not a perfection game. Your health is not random. It is not separate from your life path. It is long-term reflection of how you live, what you tolerate, and what you repeat. And the moment you start making better decisions, even small ones, the system begins correcting itself. Health is not only about living longer, it's about building the base for everything else in life. The next chapter is dedicated to exercise. Movement is the on switch. Movement is the trigger. Without it, most systems in the body remain underactivated. Exercise is not something you add on top of life. It is what keeps life processes online. The human body was designed to move daily. Strength, endurance, coordination, and recovery are not optional features. They are part of how the systems stay regulated. The modern lifestyle is deeply unnatural for the nervous system. Long hours sitting, constant screen exposure, artificial light, continuous low-grade stress, minimal physical output. The body receives stress signals all day, but no physical release. Exercise solves this. Movement discharges accumulated stress, resets nervous system tone, and gives the body a reason to adapt upward instead of slowly breaking down. Movement is one of the fastest ways to regulate the nervous system. During exercise, excess stress hormones are metabolized. Your circulation improves, lymphatic flow activates, breathing deepens, attention returns to the body, not only to mind. This is why the mind feels clearer after training, why the anxiety drops. Once movement becomes regular, something changes. Your body begins craving the movement. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. This is addiction in its healthiest form. Movement becomes self-reinforcing. Exercise gives immediate feedback. You feel better the same day. Your sleep improves, stress tolerance increases, your mood stabilizes, and over time, your body composition changes, your posture improves, energy rises, confidence grows. Few habits offer both instant reward and long-term compounding effects. Regular exercise upgrades every other practice. Meditation goes deeper because the body is less restless. Awareness increases because proprioception improves. Morphic fields integrate more easily because energy is circulating instead of being stagnant. A body that moves is more receptive. A grounded system integrates change faster. Movement is not separate from inner work. The universal effect of exercise. The exercise improves almost everything. Your hormones, skin, digestion, focus, confidence, mood, resilience, long-term health. There are very few interventions with this level of global impact. Find a form of movement you enjoy. Strength training, martial arts, running, hiking, doing sports, yoga, whatever you enjoy doing. Do it weekly, ideally multiple times per week. The specific method matters less than consistency. Movement is another foundation of your successful 2026 self. It is simple, it is natural, it always works. In my experience, movement is the keystone habit. When it is in place, everything else becomes easier. Your body and mind will thank you for it. Let's go to the next chapter. Consistency, discipline, and regularity. Consistency is how identity actually changes. Identity changes when your behavior stops contradicting itself. Your subconscious tracks patterns, not goals. It watches what you do repeatedly, and updates the internal model accordingly. One instance push does not register as identity, it registers as an exception. Consistency is what turns behavior into evidence. Evidence is what rewrites the internal baseline. If something happens often enough, the system stops questioning it. It becomes who you are. When you stop, the system does not return to neutral. It reinforces the old identity. Each interruption sends a message. This version was temporary. That message strengthens the previous baseline. This is why slow progress without breaks beats fast progress with pauses. Continuity matters more than speed. Discipline removes decision-making. The fewer decisions you make, the easier consistency becomes. If your routine requires motivation, it will fail. Structure should do the work, not your mood. Keep your actions small, specific, and time-anchored. Same time, same order, same trigger. When behavior is predictable, the nervous system relaxes. Regularity trains the nervous system to cooperate. Irregular behavior signals uncertainty. Uncertainty activates resistance. Regular routines create a sense of internal safety. Safety allows adaptation. This is why people change faster when life becomes simpler, not busier. The body adapts best to what it can predict. How to maintain consistency long-term? Lower the bar, remove intensity, extend the timeline. Consistency is maintained by doing the minimum on bad days, never skipping twice, prioritizing continuity over performance. Bad days still count. They preserve the chain. The identity update comes from staying in the game. Never negotiate with the version of you that wants to quit. Consistency is not heroic, it is boring, and this is exactly why it works. This is your review and action steps for the day or the upcoming days. Key truths to remember from today's presentation. Your life follows identity. Your identity is shaped by repetition. Small actions done daily beat dramatic changes done briefly. Health and movement are not optional. Detachment allows the system to reorganize naturally. Consistency creates safety. Safety accelerates change. Simple action steps. Define your future identity clearly. Write it down. Design routines that reflect it. Move your body regularly. Reduce unnecessary load. Act once per day as your future self. Journal evidence of change. Detach from outcomes. And never stop doing this. Keep repeating until you are your future self that you want to create. Thank you for watching the videos. I would also love to invite you to check out my second YouTube channel, Filip Morphic Fields. Morphic fields are great energetic tools that could help you accelerate your journey in this year. Thank you for watching and see you at the next video.